Okay, welcome everyone. So we're going to start off in a pose that we're going to sit in for about 4 minutes. It's called Supta Baddha Konasana, which means reclining. So that means you're laying down. So the best way to get into this pose is if you've got a bolster or a nice big cushion or something, just place that behind you. And then there's two ways you can just come down onto the bolster with your soles of the feet together, shoulder blades together and lifting up. If you want to use a strap, you can place the strap underneath the feet. Put the soles of the feet together. You put this on like a jumper or shirt, tighten it up, and then come back into the pose that way. So whichever way you want, but just try and keep working those, those knees outwards. So that's what we're trying to do. Knees outwards, shoulder blades inwards. A nice long hold in this pose today. It's a really nice way to start. So just start connecting to the breath right now. This pose is a really nice way to start a yoga class by opening up through the chest. So if you had a busy weekend, this is a nice way just to open to the new week coming. So connecting to the breath as you continually work the shoulder blades in towards each other and the knees away from each other. So bringing the soles of the feet together like magnets. So just pushing them towards each other. So we're looking at that inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And each inhale, just get deeper and deeper. And then just focus on bringing those knees away from each other. The shoulder blades together. You still have a nice minute here to relax. Enjoy the opening. So getting really, really deep into that inhale now. And when you're ready, just release everything from under you, around you. And just come into Shavasana, so just laying on your back. So that was just a nice way to start opening through the hips. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into the hip opening over the next 5 or 6 poses. So just relax everything down now. A couple more breaths here. Just making sure we get the hips really relaxed to start moving into the next few poses. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. And then just have a nice squeeze, roll the lower back, maybe, and then work your way up to a seated position. So we're going to come into Baddha Konasana this time. So that was Supta Baddha Konasana, which is reclining. So this Baddha Konasana here, we want to do a forward bend. So we want to bring the soles of the feet away from the body. Nice triangle shape, diamond shape, diamond, yeah. Bring the hands underneath to interlace all 10 fingers. What we want to do is pull on those feet. Okay, so there's no use just sitting them there. We're pulling to lengthen through the spine. And once we lengthen through the spine, we can start allowing the body to come down. You can have things in front of you if you need to. So your bolster is really nice in front of you, coming down onto the bolster. Or a block, if you're getting close to the feet, you can have the block on the feet. And coming down like this. And slowly working your way down. Just gathering what you need to be as comfortable as possible for the next 3 minutes. So with every breath, we're lengthening through the spine. So just imagine that. So lengthen on the inhale. And then exhale, just get deeper into the pose. So it doesn't matter if it's just a minute amount of depth. Just allow yourself to drop deeper into the pose. So every inhale, give yourself space, lengthen through the spine. And every exhale, just allow yourself to come in a little bit deeper. So you're coming up to halfway through now, so you should start feeling those hips opening a little bit more. But more importantly, that lower back tension easing in the lower back, so that you're coming down a little bit deeper. So we're really working that lower back, that spine, to give yourself space to come down deeper. So in this next minute, just bring focus to the breath and allow the body to sink into the pose. Last 25 seconds, so just feel the depth now of the pose. So feel where you're going today, feel the depth of that pose. Beautiful. And when you're ready, coming out of the pose, moving back into Shavasana, relaxing through those hips. So just staying as relaxed as possible in Shavasana. The more relaxed you are, the deeper you'll get into the next pose. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Roll up to a seated position. Then you're going to come up into garland. So we're going to go into garland pose. So the next 3 or 4 poses are fairly challenging. So get yourself prepared. So with garland, garland is where we squat. So heels out, toes out, heels in, and we sit down into the pose like this. So just remember, you can use a block or the bolster just to support yourself a little bit if you like. It's always handy if you need to, and you can just work your way back. If you're in the pose, just holding here. This is where the breath is really important. although it's always important. It's 3 minutes of hip opening. So if you can bring the thumbs towards the middle of your chest, and we're pushing the thumbs into the sternum there. What that's doing is coaxing the sternum up. So we're trying to bring the sternum up. And if you feel that when you bring the sternum up, you'll feel the spine lengthening. Once the spine lengthens, we can move the weight into the heels. Once we move the weight into the heels, we can bring the shoulder blades together, and you come up even more, giving yourself space more. Then bring the belly button inwards, push the knees outwards, and breathe. So if you're coming forward first, that's okay. You've just got to work our way back. So it just takes time to work your way into that spine. And to do that, we need to be working hard by moving those elbows closer to the knees, like pushing the knees away, I should say. That'll straighten up the spine. The sternum always wants to drop forward in this pose. That's why we keep using the thumbs to push into the sternum to have us come up. We bring the shoulder blades together, push the knees away, bring the weight into the heels. You'll be getting a really deep stretch. So you've got a minute to go. So 40 seconds to go. Lift your toes off the floor. The last 3 or 4 breaths. And then slowly come out of the pose. What we're doing was moving into the next pose. So the next pose is standing. So just bring the hands forward. It's really important to move into this correctly. So bring the hands forward and drop the head down. Once you drop the head down, push through the entire sole of the foot to lift the hips up. Once you lift the hips up, walk the feet to where you need them. And we're just going to dangle in this pose here. That's good. So the next few poses are pretty challenging. You're really going to get the blood to flow through the body. Tightness away from the hips from through the night. Decompressing the spine, which is important. And what we're getting here is that fresh blood flow through the brain, through the upper body. Should be getting a really nice stretch through the hamstrings. If you need bent knees, make sure you do bend them. You don't want to put too much pressure on the hamstrings if they're pulling on your lower back. You want to just release that tension and just allow them a little bit of space. So keep pushing those hips upwards. And keep dropping the head down to the toes. Just keep looking at the toes. So look down towards the toes. You can shut your eyes once you see the toes. Just get that visual of getting the top of your head onto the toes. It may never happen. Just get that visual to do that. That's where you're heading. Once you get your head as low as possible, you start bringing the forehead to the shins or the knees. But to be able to do that, we need to get those hips up nice and high. Okay, so those hips up nice and high, and we get the fold forward. So when we did this the other day, we folded from the hips down, and I showed you how to use it. We come from the floor up. So it's a different fold forward, the same result. You should be getting that really nice tilt in the pelvis. That's why we continually keep pushing the hips up. You keep pushing the hips up, the pelvis is going to tilt forward. So just another breath here. Bend the knees. Slowly come up, bring the arms out wide. Come all the way up. Bring the hands together. We're not going to do Ardha Chandrasana, but just do the little side bends just to get in through those hips. And then coming down into Shavasana. So work your way down nice and slow, get yourself comfortable. You should feel really nice through the spine now. We've really worked to loosen those hips, which will loosen the lower part, the lower spine, which will get the blood start pumping through that really important area of the spine. But what we're trying to do is just take any tension out of the hips. So the next two poses are fairly deep hip openers. We've worked internally in the hips, now we're going to work externally for two poses. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Roll up to a seated position. We're going to come into square pose. We've done that in a few classes. So square pose is a really nice one to open the sides of the hips. So bring the left foot under and the right foot over. So remember that's the full pose, and we can come forward. You can use the bolster to come forward, or if your knees are up in the air, you want to come into this pose. Left leg out, right foot up as high as it can go. You need to, as high as it can go. And then you can place that under there. This is a really nice pose to start working those knees away from the body. Or come into the full pose there. That's it, that's good. So Mary, just bring your bottom foot towards me a little bit. Bottom one. Bottom foot. Yeah, that's it. Just bring that. No, you can cross it if you like. You're more comfortable that way. Yeah, so your foot was up here, so just bring it further away. That's it. That's it, and you use the bolster there, that'll be good for you. You can just even bring your hands forward and start feeling that stretch. Good.
I felt so much in here.
So you're halfway through on this side. So again, this one, there's a lot happening in this pose in the lower body. But we're really working that hip, the outside of the right hip at the moment. Bringing the knees and the ankles. Getting a good stretch through there. Blocking blood flow off through there. Just cleaning out those joints for us to get a good start in the day. You've got 40 seconds to go. Just see how you're feeling. If you need to come a little bit further, come further. There's no way I'll be touching the floor today. So you obviously feel it during yoga, like when you're doing two different sides. One side's always tougher than the other. This is my toughest side. That right hip is tighter, whereas the other side I can come to the floor quite easily. So it's about persisting and working through, trying to balance both sides. Slowly come up. I'm going to flip over to the other side. Straighten that right leg out if you need to. Allow the blood to quickly flow back through, and then you can bring the right leg under, the left leg over. Again, check the sides. If this could be a lot worse, you might have to do one leg on this side. Just whatever it is that's going to get you prepared for this pose. And then just work your way into the pose. That's it, perfect, well done. Yeah, that's good. Just listen to your body and just feel that change if you need to. That's really good. So if you can't get comfortable in that first 10, 15 seconds, always just take a step back. Not even the right wording, take a step back. It's just listening to the body. We're not stepping back. We're just trying to release any tension that we built up in that area through the last 24 hours or so. And always remember to use any props that are going to help you through. So Chris, you're coming a lot further forward than you were at Tweed, that's for sure. Getting deep into those hips now. Really good. So the last minute in this pose. So connecting to the breath. The last 2 or 3 breaths now. You should feel as deep as you could possibly go today. And when you're ready, start releasing, start coming up nice and slow. And just release the legs really slowly. You should be just taking time to move out of these poses. Once you start opening up, the blood will start flowing through. So come into Shavasana. Just really relaxing those hips now, because we're working the same area of the hips here, but we're going to get a deeper hamstring stretch in this next one. You should have a fairly good flow of blood flowing through the hamstrings from dangling pose. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest, rolling up to a seated position. We're going to come into cat pulling the tail. So you might want your strap or your belt or whatever you're using handy. We'll go into the full one this time. Last time we did half, so we'll do full. So this pose is where we bring the left foot underneath the. Then we come into the pose this way. So the full pose is grabbing the outside of the right foot with the left hand and grabbing the bottom foot with the right hand and coming across this way, bringing the shoulder blades flat on the ground if you can. So that's the full pose. You might want the strap, grab the bottom foot and then come across this way. Okay, so whichever way we go, we're working on this side of the hip, working down the hamstring, and pulling that bottom leg up is going to give you a good stretch through the quad. Okay, so if you can't grab the bottom foot, it doesn't really matter that much. So left foot under the right buttock, coming back with that right leg straight, dropping the right leg over. We've got to watch the plants here. And getting a deep stretch through this one. So Mary, if you sit up again. Yeah, so bring that left foot underneath the right buttock. I know it's tricky. It looks easy when someone's just doing it in front of you.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then come back and bring the straight leg up. That's it. Grab the outside of the foot or use the strap. Strap in the left hand and bring the right leg over the top. Grab the bottom foot if you can. That's it, perfect. You feel it now. And come onto your bolster would be okay too. Beautiful. So now you're going to feel that stretch in the outside of the hip. But also the hamstring is getting stretched, opened up. Eventually we bring the shoulder blades flat on the floor so our sternum is pointing directly up. We're working our belly button across to the right hand side. And the more you do that, you'll feel a deeper stretch in the right hip. But just work towards that. Eventually you start pushing that heel away from the body toes towards the shins as you pull on that bottom leg to stretch the quad. So you've got a minute to go on this side. Just remember and connect to that breath. Don't lose sight of the breath getting you deeper into the pose. Slowly coming out. Coming out of that pose of the switching sides. So you can sit up if you like and sides, or you can just bring that right foot underneath the left buttock. Put the strap on the left foot if you need the strap, or grab the left foot with the right hand and bring it across the body. So I'll do that again. So right foot comes underneath the left buttock or the left thigh. Then we can lay back, bring that right leg up. Once we got, the left leg up. I'm getting mixed up here. Then we bring the right hand on the outside of the left foot or on the strap. So that straight leg, that hip should be folding over to the right. That's it, perfect. It's a 3-minute hold in this one.
Takes me 3 minutes to get in.
Again, we just focus on the breath as we fiddle to get into the position that we need to get into. And be comfortable with that controlled breathing. And then just find as much stillness as you can the rest of the pose. Poses like this, sometimes you've got to readjust and just allow yourself to do that. But attempt as much stillness as possible. Never forgetting to focus on the breath. So you've got a minute to go. Find that stillness, find the breath. So just the last couple of breaths in this. And a really nice Shavasana at the end. Slowly coming out of the pose, just settling yourself in Shavasana. Get a really good minute and a bit of Shavasana here. You really work deep into those hips, into the hamstrings. Now it's time to start relaxing that area. And so the focus obviously has been the hips up to now. I think we've achieved the opening and the flow of the blood going through the hips. And now we'll be working on the lower back. Shorter poses in the next 3 or 4 poses. 1, 2, 3 poses. The next 3 are fairly short poses, but getting deep into the lower back. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest, rolling up, and then flipping yourself over into prone position, so onto your stomach. So we're going to come into a back bend on the floor. We're going to come into Bhujangasana. A lot of the time we do Sphinx here, but I just want to do Bhujangasana for this one. So the difference between Sphinx and Bhujangasana is Sphinx is we've got our elbows on the floor, so we're supporting our upper body. So with our elbows, we're going to support the upper body with the hands this time, but then we release the support from the hands just onto the lower back. So what I mean by that is bringing the hands close to the chest, feet together, tops of the feet on the floor, elbows in, okay? So we don't want to put pressure on the shoulders. We bring the elbows in and then just lift the chest off the floor, just the chest. Once we get the chest off the floor, bring the shoulder blades together and you'll feel a deeper stretch through the lower back. You keep working on that stretch. And then slowly start taking the pressure away from the hands. So it's almost like your hands are just sitting on the floor. You're not pushing on the hands. So just allow the lower back to take the tension. The back muscles, protect the lower back. Now just squeeze the glutes a little bit tighter. Push the tops of the feet into the floor. Push the thighs into the floor. Now push the hips into the floor as you squeeze the glutes and come up a little bit higher. Bring the elbows in to the rib cage. Now bring the chin away from the chest and look up. Holding there. See if you can lift the hands off the floor. If you can't, that's okay. Just want little amounts of pressure there. And then slowly come down. Bring the left cheek onto the mat. Bring the hands by the sides and just relax that lower back. Need a good rest here. We're going deep into the back again. We don't want to head into the back too early in between poses. We want to make sure that we're getting that correct blood flow through the lower back before we start getting deeper into the rest of the spine. And when you're ready, just help yourself up. With this one, we're doing Purnasavasana, which is full locust pose. I did this the other day and I showed you that you can have the bolster in front of you. And what that does is it takes the pressure of you having to lift the body up. Okay, so what we want to do, if we're having the bolster in front of us, is to have the chest on the bolster. So we're pushing the hips into the floor. And then bring the hands out in line with the shoulders and lift the legs up. So that means we're just tilting the hips forward to lift the legs up. If you don't want the bolster, it's exactly the same, but we're putting a lot more pressure on the lower back. And we're coming up this way, shoulder blades together. So when you're ready, we're going to get started with this. So it's a fairly long hold, so if you've got to come out, come out. So when you're ready, come up. If you're on the bolster, just push into the bolster as you lift the legs up. Shoulder blades together, chin up, chest up, and hold there. Perfect. Bring the legs up. Now bring the chin away from the chest and just look up. Now bring the hands a little bit higher. Holding there. It's good, just like we're flying through the air, just like a pelican flying. Lift the chest up, shoulder blades together, legs up. You got 4 minutes to go. Joking. Just keep lifting that chest up a little bit higher. Squeeze the glutes, come up a little bit higher. Bring the hands up, legs up, chest up, chin up, shoulder blades together, legs up, chest up, and exhale, come down. Completely relax. So that pose there is pure spine health. If you could wrap that up in a tablet, you'd make $1 billion. So complete spine health with that back bend there. You feel the heart pumping now. Have a good rest here. So they're the 2 deep back bends that we are doing. So the next few poses are just nice and relaxing. You should start feeling that back just becoming looser through that blood flowing through there now, the reoxygenated blood. And when you're ready, slowly help yourself up. We're just going to come in for a quick toe squat before we move into the next pose. So just getting onto the toes, hips back to the heels, bringing the hands into prayer position, shoulder blades together, sternum up. Just feel that stretch through the toes. So always work with that sternum coming up again. So we want to lengthen through the spine. It's a good way to practice that posture change. Just another 4 or 5 breaths here. And then when you're ready, just lean forward, stretch the toes out, feel the blood rush through, and then come into child's pose. So bring the big toes together, hips back to the heels. So make sure you bring those hips as far as they can go back and then come into the pose. You can have the bolster or a cushion or pillow in front of you if you like, a block. And then just come into a really nice counter pose from those back bends that we've just done. This is the final pose before Shavasana. So just enjoy beautiful, relaxing forward bend. So just challenge yourself in this pose to focus on the breath, not letting the mind wander at all. There's always going to be thoughts there, and that's fine. Just witness the thoughts. Don't connect to the thoughts. Don't get involved in a conversation with the thoughts. Again, just focusing on the breath. You've got a minute and a half to go. Pure focus on the breath. So the last few breaths. Coming out of child's pose now, nice and slowly. Just flipping over onto your back to Shavasana. So the final pose should feel nice and loose now, so get yourself comfortable for the next 4 minutes or so. Just let go of everything here. There's no focus, no concentration. just grounding. Just ground yourself. Just allow yourself to sink into the mat. Now, just focus on the inhale and the exhale of the breath, but just natural breath. Just natural inhale and natural exhale. Then bring your natural inhale to become a little bit deeper. And as you inhale, just say to yourself mentally, so. And then as you exhale long and slow, say to yourself, hum. So this is the so, hum, relaxation technique. Just allows you to be in the moment with yourself. So hum, so hum. With that so, just make it a little bit shorter. With the hum, make it longer. A few extra M's on the hum. Now take your focus to that place we call Chitakasha, so that bringing the eyeballs up to look at the middle of the eyebrows. So with the eyes closed, roll the eyeballs up there, look there, focus on Chitakasha. What is it you see? Is it colors? Is it shapes? Is it one dark, long space? Keep focusing in that area. Nothing else, just focus on Chitakasha. The eyeballs drop down, just keep looking back up there. This is our safe place. This is our place where only we can go. Keep looking up there. This is where we can't communicate at all with the conditioning of the mind, the body. It's just our true self, just in Chitakasha. And just focus on what you're witnessing now in Chitakasha. Colors, shapes, darkness, stars, space, whatever it is, and just enjoy that. And just relax the eyes down and go back to So Hum. Inhale So, exhale Hum. This time draw the So out, so So and long Hum. So Hum. Now you're ready to go back to Chitta. So roll those eyeballs up to that space between the eyebrows. See the difference here now. See how easier it is, how much more peaceful it is. You might see different colors or different shapes, or deeper space. Just focus in that area. And then relax the eyeballs. And just feel how relaxed you are right now. Give yourself that thanks, that praise for allowing yourself to spend this time on the mat, to give you that mental ability to calm the mind, the physical ability to release tension in the body. Thank yourself for that. And send off a gratitude if you feel so. Then just start wiggling the toes and the fingers. Rolling to the right hand side. Make your way up into Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose. No one really wants to move right now. And just bring your hands into prayer position. And once you get up there, just take a nice deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. And thank you so much for turning up on a Monday morning and dedicating this time to yourself. And thanks for allowing me to take you through the class. It's an absolute pleasure. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste. Thank you.